Creator, Episode 6, Overcome Your Past. One of my quotes states, "Note to self, you're undone. Your past is like sticking a toothpick into a cake halfway through the baking process. Stuff is all over it." I'll say it again. Note to self, you're undone. Your past is like sticking a toothpick into a cake halfway through the baking process. Stuff is all over it. If you could change your past, you will. Like anyone else, we may have regrets, shortcomings, and we wish we could change it. But the truth is, we're simply undone. We're continuing in our journey. So it's important that we take note of that and not be so harsh on ourselves, even if we're not at the desired place that we really want to be at this present moment. Your body is a recording not only of your past, but everything that you've ever experienced in your life. You know that when you think of something, a past experience, and how it feels in your body, you go back to that place again. You revisit that place when you think about your past. So your body is attached to every experience that you've ever had in your life. Now, psychologically, there's a high likelihood that you have an attachment with your undesired past. Although mentally and rationally, you may desire something totally different. So you must develop a way to counteract and to overcome your past. Remember, if you move in your mind first, you will eventually move in your body and environment. You must develop a winner's mind state. And we all need to develop that. It's not necessarily something that we may be born with, but we can develop a winner's mindset. I remember there's a story about a little boy who was in class, and the teacher was at the board writing for the class, and he just stood up, and the teacher looked back, and she said to him, she said, "Sit down." And he stomped his feet, and he said, "No." And the teacher turned around and began writing on the board again. And when she turned around, he still was standing up. So she said, "Sit down." And he stomped his feet again, and he said, "No." And the teacher walked over to him, and right before she got to him, he sat down. Then the teacher walked back over to the board, and she began writing again. And he said, "I'm sitting down on the outside, but I'm standing up on the inside." In order to overcome your past, it's essential that you have a perseverance and remain consistent and persistent in your search or for what you want. When your self-talk maturates with what you believe, then you become unstoppable. You become an unstoppable force because there's no ambiguity in you, right? So you have to believe in yourself and speak to yourself the inner speech that we have constantly going on throughout the day. Everyone has an inner speech that we're saying to ourselves, but unconsciously we are unaware of the effects that it's having toward the direction or trajectory of our lives. Oftentimes it's negative self-talk that we have, but we must become more consciously aware of the thoughts that we are having. And then we can begin counteracting when our awareness shifts. Now, in order to escape our past, we must define the future we want by developing a mental image of the future you desire. So everyone wants something in this life. We desire something. We crave something in our lives. So sit down and give it some thought. Some things it may be on the tip of your tongue or at the top of your list in your mind. So once you have it, you must then abandon yourself toward the future in imagery constantly. So you must choose to remain there. And when the pictures and the feelings of your past comes up, you must immediately bring your desired picture and imagery to your mind to create a consistent future. This is not an easy process, because if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. So it will be a challenge to change your life. There's no easy way. You must completely fall in love with your future in order to escape your past. See your future and make a conscious decision to live there in your inner being. We live from within. The outside circumstances, our environments, are simply the result of what we do internally. The people in our lives we attract to our lives are from the internal dialogue, internal belief system that we have. So if that's true, I can change the internal belief system. I can change the self-talk, the internal dialogue that I'm having that will eventually change my life. There's a quote by Nelson Mandela. He says, it always seems impossible until it's done. Carol Burnett said, only I can change my life. No one can do it for me. Marcus Bach said, the life you think is the life you live. There are two ways that you can begin your shift immediately. One, mental imagery. At least 2 times a day, take about 10 minutes during each sitting and sit in quietness and just still your mind and body and bring up the mental imagery of the future you desire, and not wishing from a distance, but feel yourself to be presently in that state you desire or that picture you desire. Through your habitual practice of this, you will begin the process of imprinting your subconscious mind. At some point in this image will begin to present itself randomly throughout your day. And remember, the most dominant thought and feeling will always cancel the less dominant thought and feeling. So you must have something that supersedes in order for it to become a fixture for you. So mental imagery is a tool that we use haphazardly throughout our day. Sometimes we are able to focus on certain things, but oftentimes we use it and it works against us because we're going through the same routine, the same ho-hum things that we do, and the belief system must change. But we can change it through mental imagery. The second way you can begin the shift is through auto-suggestion. Now, auto-suggestion has been used for many years now. but you can write out a statement simply affirming that which you desire to be. For example, I'm so happy and grateful that I did whatever. I am so grateful that I am fulfilling my life passion, etc. So you can write on index cards simply, and you could do this at least 2 times per day, 10 minutes during each setting. Just simply get in a quiet place and repeat your statement and feel your statement to be true. Not wishing from a distance or hoping, but simply believing it to be true. Now, the best times to do your auto-suggestion and also your mental imagery would be as soon as you wake up in the morning, because you're in a more relaxed state and it's easy to access your subconscious mind. And also before you go to bed, you began being in a slumber state or a more tired state. You're more relaxed, and it's easier to access your subconscious mind, because your mind continually operates, or your subconscious mind, while you're sleeping. So you can give it something to continually feed on, something positive, something that you really desire. So right as you wake up in the morning and before bedtime are ideal times that you could implement these ways to begin the shift. Now, auto-suggestion also, you can place index cards throughout your house and see it. It's constantly suggesting to you the desire that you have there, and it will become a part of you. So start today. There's no better time than today, and begin implementing these things in order to help create your new mind.